I do think, in a weird way, what we've been talking about bleeds into point 3 here, if I may.
Go ahead, yeah. Wow, make that
Because in
transition.
my mind, a lot of these people who are very skeptical of just quote unquote like institutions and the media, who tend to fall under that right wing sphere these days at least. This comment sort of surmises this person. This is how these people are going to divorce themselves, I think, from, if things go as they have been, from working class MAGAs. So this was
wait.
a video.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead. Keep going.
This is a video of Trump's Liberation Day. This was the comment underneath it on YouTube, and it's just this very diligent comment about like, I've been keeping track of prices, right? Like, and the way this reads, this person is a MAGA, as far as I can tell.
Here it is.
But
I
they
brought it
are
up,
also
actually.
they're very diligent about keeping track of. So this guy goes, price of Egglands best 18 count on December 2nd, 2024 was $5.12 at my local Walmart now. At my local Walmart now $7.76. I know these prices are correct because I keep price lists on my bulletin board because I don't trust the internet to get me the right information.
This person is autistic, but also like in the right way, because I don't trust the internet either.
Right. Yes. This person goes, I know what my lived experiences is.
Right.
I'm going to write those down when I can go home.
I don't blame him.
Chuck roast 3.73 pounds because I don't trust the internet, right, in the next sentence to give me the right information. So they've doubled down on that. Chuck roast. Oh, no, that's me being
No, you're
dumb
good. You're a
reading
smooth brain, but keep going. Keep going.
Chuck roast 3.73 pounds. 15.74 on December 2nd, 2024 is now 16.80. No period. Kraft cheese slices and milk both went down in price by a few cents. There we go. That's a positive for Trump.
Yeah.
The average cost of groceries, like meats other than bacon, all have gone up in price. Not a positive for Trump. I won't even buy a chuck roast anymore because it is over $30, which let's keep in mind. Back here they said it was $15.74. Groceries other than milk and cheese have all gone up in price. Beef is outrageous, expensive to the point we are only eating chicken and fish, which are both really expensive. And he goes on just about, he says England best, which, he said Eggland best earlier, so I assume that's what he means. But like, this is a MAGA voter, who's been sucked into the idea, as far as I can tell, that Trump is actually going to bring down prices. But this is also a MAGA voter who is keeping very diligent notes about their lived experience.
None of this is pro-Trump.
Yeah, it's tough. It is tough to tell.
Because, like, they say England best did not come down 50%. I didn't watch this garbage conference. I'm not going to... Did he, like, reference deflated things? Is that why they're saying England best did not come down 50%? It's because they said that it did? And they say that it went up 40%, obviously. But, like, I don't understand that. Did not come down 50%. So
the entire comment section was like...
That's a lot of cancer.
Pro-MAGA people.
It was. It's a lot of cancer. Just get rid of the damned IRS already. Okay, sure, dude. Keep our dollars in-house. Fair is fair. Too much foreign aid. We need domestic aid. Actually, don't totally disagree with that sentiment, but whatever.
There was something about the sentiment of this comment in the greater context of... I don't know that this person is, but it seems like they are.
It does feel like they're
because they do give Trump some credit in here, but then they're like 48%.
How?
Blah, blah, blah.
I don't see anywhere besides like, oh, bacon didn't go up, but everything else did. It's still like not a negative.
Egglands best have gone down since a month ago when they were $9.49 something, like almost $10. Now they're almost $8. So eggs have gone down, but they are still 48.66%.
Right. But they still end with a negative sentiment, so I don't know. I do agree with you that you still can't surmise whether it is or not. You can't surmise whether it is or not because like prices have been bad. So like you would think there's a good chunk of not MAGA but people who voted for Trump who are like, yeah, this isn't good. And there is. I think there is.
Yes, the practical working class Trump voter. who, for some reason,
who's not a MAGA.
Like,
you know what I'm saying? Go ahead, sorry.
No, they are MAGA, and they're not going to be much longer.
That's fine.
If this actually holds. That's
depends on how you define MAGA. I feel like I define MAGA like.
Well, so let me.
MAGA means people who are in the cult and he can do no wrong. So if you're finding people who are criticizing him, I don't think they're MAGA.
But I do, because here's the thing.
Okay. You're saying both things. Yeah, go ahead.
What?
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying. Okay, so these are people who are, I think, would consider themselves like quote unquote hardcore MAGA, right? Like just.
But they're criticizing him, so I don't put them in my category. That's fine. We all have our own, but I don't.
Right. This is what I'm saying is going to break the fever of the pro-Trump working class voter. Because when he won his first term from 16 to 20, he had a great economy save for COVID. But now, he's clearly not been able to bring prices down. They've kind of come down a little bit, but now he's slapping tariffs down.
We'll see. I saw some... And look, you might be right, but we have to see. I saw some freaking video today where a whole bunch of different people from his cabinet were on Sunday shows trying to, like, trying to be positive after, like, the Thursday and Friday that we had. So, I don't know. People still drink the Kool-Aid, it feels like.
No.
I mean, and look, and that's just people on TV, so that's way different than your average voter. Two things. I think it's going to take time. Like, if he is really making a huge fucking mistake, which I think he is, but if he is, it's going to take time to really, like, get into people feeling that. And two, like, these people just absolutely, like, I've never seen what it'll take to quit. I'm talking about the diehards, baby. Not people who will talk about that prices are up. People who would even be like, you know, so like Benny Johnson. Let me find this. What did he say the other day?
This is why Biden lost, though,
because he said something like,
sorry, Kamala,
and it's like comical because he would never say this about.
Oh yes, I remember.
Nobody ever had their net worth carved on their tombstones. Doesn't even matter when you're a deathbed. Who cares? And he also tweeted like, losing money costs you absolutely nothing. Just shameless things that he would never say when a Democrat is president and crashes the economy. Just absolutely shameless. You laugh, but like it's like you're right to laugh because it's just like it's brazenly shameless. Like like this is like If I ever got to talk to someone like a Benny Johnson in good faith, which would never happen, even if I did get to talk to him, these people don't do good faith. I would be like, do you actually understand that you treat Trump and Republicans different than other people? Like, do you understand that if you had integrity and you had an actual standard, principled standard that you could stick to, things sway. So you wouldn't always be in one. Like, do you, like, they would never answer. Like, they would just be like,
Not those people. Not those.
Those are the questions that I actually want answered. It's like, do you like think about that? It's like,
I do think I am becoming more and more a believer in the idea that democracies only function when your population is in good faith.
Well, that's true.
Of
course, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah, but it feels like something that has to be said out loud, almost.
In this day and age, yes.
Comical.
I know.
We're so comical in this country with our rhetoric. Like, it almost feels like nobody is in good faith, which obviously isn't true. But the loudest voices are never in good faith.
No, they aren't. That's true.
And I don't know if that's, like, it's upsetting that those are the voices that get elevated the most because they're not in good faith.
Yeah.
But that is the heart of our discourse now, and it's so toxic. It is so toxic to the core. And I don't know how we fix that. But, like, democracies work best when people are in good faith. And they're intelligent, or at least
don't even say intelligent. Democracies only work when a strong majority of the people accept that there are differences. If people don't accept that people can just be different and it's fine, you're fucked. You have nothing. You have absolutely nothing. Now, there's obviously levels to it, but if you get to a high enough level of like, oh no, I don't think these people should even exist. They should be jailed or this or that. Like that's the slippery slope you go down. When you say to yourself, it's unacceptable that someone disagrees with me, or I don't accept a certain lifestyle and that should be criminal. Like, that is fucked up. That is bad. That is a democracy cannot survive with that. It cannot. There's no way. I think the reality of how spread out the country is makes it so that it helps democracy survive. The decentralized way that we do our election system still to this day is helping it, but I'm not going to say on thin ice, but it's choppy waters, dude. We're in the boat, and it's fucking rocking hard.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, oh, boy, like, we doing this? Yeah. So it's just the acceptance of differences. Like, too many people, man.
I think the only way the fever breaks, just to bring it all the way back, the only way the fever breaks with the Trump working class appeal is when economically he genuinely, in their eyes, not only is he not delivering anymore, he's being a detriment to their capacity to get from month to month. And it's not going to take long with these tariffs for that to be the case. I can promise you that. And if he starts a war with Iran, I'm going to say this right now. Republicans, including Democrats, obviously, but Republicans will be calling for his head by September. I would put money on that.
It's gonna test. What's gonna be fun? What's gonna be fun about what's happening is it's really gonna test the idea that. The old school political idea that, like, you know, kitchen table politics, it's the economy, stupid. There's so many different ways to quote it, but the idea that, like, if you really disrupt the flow of quality of life for people, that there's no amount of cult that will hold that up. You're going to get burned.
Correct.
Now, we have a rich history of that being correct. But I still even hesitate to say, like, where the line is. We'll have to see. Obviously, if Trump made, like, unemployment shoot up to, like, 20%, he'd be fucking hated. But, like, does that happen? That still has to happen. Not 20%.
I think it can.
Not 20%. That's insane. But
no, not 20%.
I do think that the line is even dude. You don't even have to get anywhere close to
9 to 10% unemployment rate would definitely sink him.
That's exactly
what
it would sink him. It doesn't even have to.
And
be
I
20.
do think
right.
It's unfortunate the way that money is dispersed in this country. There's a lot of debt leveraged among, like, middle and lower classes that if you put enough stress on those jobs, you could have a knockdown effect, and that would be really problematic. Right? Like.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If these people can't pay the debt that they're owed or that they owe anymore,
but still, we'll have to.
To me, that's 2008 all over again.
Still, we'll have to see. There's already
it could get
There's already some comments and, like, deep rumblings that I see after what he's done inside of 2 months already with the markets and with disappearing people and the absolute destruction of freedom of speech. Oof. To where people are already like, like, even if we don't even make it to 26, if he gets so bad, like, Republicans will 22nd Amendment him or whatever the amendment is, where it's like you're an idiot and
just
insane.
Impeach him,
or impeach or whatever. I just don't believe it. I just don't believe
they will.
How bad does it have to get,
dude?
Okay, so let's do this real quick before we.
I would put money on that.
We don't have to end necessarily soon, but let's do this real quick. Let me look up SP 500. All right, we're gonna click 6 months. All right, the top of the S&P 500 was 6144. All right, let me break out my calculator. All right, 6144 was the top. Right now we're at 5074. So if I divide that by 6144, the market's already down 17.5% from the top. So how bad does it have to get for that actually be true? Because, like, don't you feel a little bit, like, cautious about saying that Republicans would impeach Trump, which how much they've marched to the beat of his drum? So go ahead, like, where does it have to go, and where does that sentiment come from that they would impeach
Economically, I don't think they impeach him. I think he starts a war with Iran and they impeach him.
You think so? What? Now I'm worried about a war with Iran. What have I not been paying attention to? What the fuck? Okay. I know he's being an asshole about the Houthis. What a scumbag, but Well,
no,
not that
it's
the Houthis
are
good, but they're doing things for Israel. Sorry, go ahead.
I do think too, Trump is such a thin-skinned bitch.
Oh, he is.
That he's gonna commit to these tariffs. He's not gonna walk them back due to his ego, unless he gets a lot of pressure.
True.
He's not gonna walk them back.
That's a problem.
It's going to drive the economy into a recession. He's going to get pretty unpopular pretty fast. Then he's going to try and start a war / assassinate terrorist targets as a means of boosting his popularity. And it's going to blow up in his fucking face. Especially with the pressure he's been getting from AIPAC and from Israel to start a war with Iran. That is when he gets impeached. Like, I would bet my left testicle on him getting impeached within 16 months. But we'll see.
I hope you're right. Telling you, man. I think I can, because of what's happened in the last week. And actually, maybe I'm being a little biased. I probably am. I'm very much that the First Amendment will also pressure him, not necessarily with Republicans, but in general, where you're just disappearing people and it's disgusting. Like, it's absolutely disgusting. Like, you're a fucking asshole.
You can't do it.
Like, even if we could get 2 out of every 10
they're not conservatives
who used to be the drumbeat of free speech. All right, dude. They're legal residents. That's disgusting. Anyways,
I know.
I think my point is I do think I am starting to see a possibility of a world where you could get Republicans impeaching Trump because so many things are putting pressure on them. So many. Can't be one. Trump is so powerful, dog. There's no way. And listen, we'll have fun because we should revisit some of these and kind of like compare them to what we'll say in the future because we'll keep doing these and we'll see where it goes and we'll see what the comments are. But yeah, I think it's still hard for me. I still think there's an overwhelming percentage, 90% he wouldn't be impeached. He'll make it to 4 years no matter what he does. But go ahead.
Well, let me ask you this then.
Sure.
Let me ask you this, because the administration has already, they are testing the boundaries with how much they're allowed, like they're allowing themselves to be directed by the courts. And those are sort of already playing out towards the Supreme Court. Do you think he just steamrolls through all of that? Like, they are clearly looking for what the limits are. Do you think Trump steamrolls through all of that?
I think he steamrolls through all of that for the tariffs because he believes in them because he's an absolute smooth brain. I don't know about
the tariffs, the deportations,
I don't know. I don't know. It depends on how much he actually. And I'm kind of in the camp where I believe he doesn't give a fuck at all. Just wants to golf, and he's outsourcing everything to these Project 25 scumbags. So if he's kind of enabling them all the way, then
they're gonna test the limits.
He's just gonna
rubber stamp whatever the fuck they put in front of him.
Correct. As long as he can go, as long as I can go watch Live Golf, you make the decision. It's you make great decisions. That's fine. Just like he puts Elon Musk in charge of fucking cutting shit, and every time they ask him about it, he's like, "Well, he's smart." They've kind of gotten a little bit butthole tighty after the Wisconsin loss, but still, I don't think they're like divorcing Elon. But yeah, I mean, he's just outsourcing everything.
I think the whole MAGA brand just becomes like radioactive for most of the country before the next midterm elections. I think he's going to do something profoundly stupid as far as militarily, and it is just not going to work out for him.
I don't see it, but I take your point, and I really hope you're not right. Why would he care?
We have to. Yeah.
The problem is, hope it doesn't I was about to say, why would he care about starting a war? Conflict. The problem is, he knows that sometimes when you strike or start a war, you can get a little boost in popularity, in like a temporary fuck you way.
Doing right now.
Right. Yeah, but it's not long term because George Bush after 9/11 got a little boost, but then when he did all the dumbass bullshit, people were like, "This guy's a stupid fuck." Like, this is
Benjamin Netanyahu has delayed his corruption trial several times because of.
I know. Did that even ever finish? I feel like he was convicted and then it didn't matter. No,
delayed.
Okay.
Delayed.
Yep.
delayed
because he won just like Trump. Trump would have gone on to having more trials, but he won, so it's over. That's how it works.
He lost. So what happened was he lost. Like his party lost the majority.
Yes.
And then a lot of the cases started to progress against him.
And then he won again.
And then the war heated up a little bit, and he won again. And now it's just been delayed and delayed and delayed.
I'm surprised it's not canceled because, like, if he could, he would. You would think, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you saw any of the hands-off protests that were going on this prior Saturday, but it was a decent turnout.
I saw some posts today.
I think there's going to be a big shift towards. I'm telling you, this man's going to become politically toxic within 2 years. I truly, truly believe that.
The only reason I am starting to buy that is because look at the straight line down on the stream. And I think I remember saying this. Do you remember? Maybe I said it. I said it to other people too. I remember chilling with my boy. Me and my boy were out at the bar for. You remember the Four Nations thing with hockey? Did you watch that at all? It was pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
We were out on a Saturday for one of the games, and I remember telling him, I was like, "Look, man, the only way the fever breaks. I know I said this to you too. I said this before this all happened this week. The only way the fever breaks is if he crashes the economy." We've been through too much the last 8 years with Trump being an asshole, a bigot, a dirtbag, a light supporter of white supremacy when he said both sides are equal. We've been through a freaking insurrectionist. We've been through too many things where it's like, unless he crashes the economy, don't talk to me. It's not going to work So here we go. He might do it to himself, which honestly is fucking karma. Somehow karma is working in the way that he is sabotaging himself, because if he just let go of the wheel and said, like, we're not going to do tariffs, but Project 25, do your thing, the fever wouldn't break, right? You would think it wouldn't, right? Do you agree or no?
That's the funny thing too. No, I agree. Once you hit these people economically, that's like about at least a third of his very committed base believes he's smart economically. So the second you lose that argument, that's gone up in smoke. They're either not going to vote or they're going to vote Democrat. And both are toxic to your ability to win elections. But, it's just...
I can't believe people... Like, the man bankrupted a casino. Dude, we live in tough times. I'm surrounded by you smooth brains who are going to comment whenever you do watch one of these about how, like, we have TDS or whatever. People are just like sometimes I wish people would think to themselves, oh, it's a mirror. Let me look in it and let me really think about the things that I do, the things that I say, the decisions that I make. Do they make sense? But not everybody ticks like me, where you're trying to make things make sense. You're just like, Trump. And you're just like, well, what about the First Amendment rights he's trampling on? And they're just like, you know what? Fuck you, Trump. And you're like, okay, well, how about this? How about crashing the markets? Trump. It's like, all right, well, I don't. Trump. Right, you got it, dude. You got it. That's what it feels like. So, we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe the economy.
There's going to be a squeeze. There's going to be a squeeze.
We'll see. I have to see it to believe it. Is that fair? I have to see it to believe it.
No, that's fair. I'm just saying, if I was a betting man, that's where my money lies.
No question.
And he's going to spend the second 2 years of his term being super lame duck all day.
If you're a student of history, and we both, we're no experts. We just sit here and we just, shove our thumbs up our buttholes and talk to each other. But if you're a student of history, wasn't like there's enough history to show that there have been cultist leaders to more of an extreme than Trump, that if the economy, if opportunity isn't working for that society, it doesn't matter. At that point, it doesn't matter. You really have to make that work or else people will revolt. And
Yeah.
So someone who comes to mind is, I didn't know this. Someone was telling me the other week at work about this because they studied history in college. Julius Caesar was like a general, a Roman general. I didn't know this. Obviously,
we talked about this last podcast.
Oh, were you the one that told me this?
It's me and you, brother. We talked about this last week.
I also brought it up to someone at work without even thinking that you told me it. But you are the one.
Scroll down.
Holy
Topic
crap.
2 from last week.
Oh my God! Look at this guy. Look at this guy. And then, of course, I actually used that in another conversation without even remembering where it came from. Anyways, let's move past the fact that I'm a fucking moron. Yeah, anyways. It just reminds me of that, right? Like, the fact that you brought up that, like, Julius Caesar was a general and then was, like, a popular... He kind of overthrew democracy. Right?
Yeah.
Didn't he? No way. That's crazy.
Yes.
So...
Well, he sort of... Yeah. He was received well.
My point is, there have been cultists
the Republic.
or overthrowing of things in the past that have been a bigger, you would think and feel are a bigger, more of a stronger power of cult personality than Trump, not Julius Caesar, I guess, but anytime you don't provide enough opportunity to whatever society you're trying to lead, you're fucked. You're fucked. It's over. It's over. So... I'm with you. I think you're right. I just still have to see it to believe it. Still have to see it to believe
it. Yeah. I would bet money on it, though, so you feel free.
Last thing before we stop.
Yeah, go ahead.
We looked at the futures. Today is April 6, 2025. We had 2 bad days on Thursday and Friday for the markets, right? Our boy Nord here just told me earlier that futures look shitty too.
Not great.
There is a point where there's going to be a bottom. Where is it, you would think, right? Like, does anybody actually do the math on tariffs?
I think there's an expectation of tariffs, and then there will be the reality of tariffs. So,
right, because markets always react first.
Over-responded. They might not have responded.
No, I don't even want to say they're over. That's not my point, though. I'm not saying they're over-responding. What I'm saying is, because you could make an argument that the market is doing the right thing, not just because of tariffs, but because we were the central of trading in globalism. If we're shutting that down, tariffs are a part of things being shitty, but just less wealth for everyone is also going to be a thing, right? So there's many different things that might happen that do justify. And if you look at, dude, the S&P, like, let's do 5 years. Dude, it was at 2789. April 9th, 20... Actually, that's after the COVID crash. Hang on. But, I mean, not even that long ago. It's, it's double the end of Trump's term. So it's already a little gassed up, is my point. So maybe it has a long way to go if you argue, tariffs are inflationary. Recession is also going to happen. It's going to be a double whammy. Stagflation.
Stagflation is the worst inflation.
I think that was
the more you know.
Jimmy Carter's days, but yeah, the more you know.
Yeah, no, it is one of the worst combinations.
So
you're not... Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, in summation, either Nord's right and things melt down, and he actually, it actually kills Trump, or he's Teflon Don. We'll see.
No, you know what it is? It's a combination. It is Trump sucking at the economy and people realizing that he's not a smart businessman. And it's the fact that he's going to start a war with Iran within 16 months.
And I'm not trying to start this conversation, but what makes people think he's a great businessman when he bankrupted a casino? And I get it. It's because cult.
Come on.
You can easily answer that by just saying cult, and I get it. But it's just...
Correct.
It's crazy, man. This is how you know people don't tick with evidence and reason and logic and trying to, critically think about things. Because if you actually processed everything he's done in life, you would be like, yeah, this kind of doesn't make sense. But instead, you just, he's just the fucking leader of the counterculture on the right. And because of that, I'm with him. It's like, okay. Like, I'm looking at this live Trump Remarks on Liberation Day's tariffs on the stream right now. And there's a guy in a hard hat with an affliction fucking shirt. It's like, of course. Some guy with an affliction shirt with a hard hat would be in the crowd. Like, why is that guy? Anyway, sorry. People would say, oh... fuck you, Cy. It's just working people, and they like Trump. It's like, okay, sure. All right. Keep going, smooth brains. All right.